What should I do, buckaroos? I think I already started to get set down quite in time. Oh, mercy. So I picked up this product the other day. Well, actually, I just got it in the mail today, to be honest with you. But I saw it online, thought it was an interesting story. Thought we'd run with it. So let me check, make sure everything's working real quick. I want to read a couple of things to you as I try the first product. There we go. We are going. Alrighty then. The Muff Liquor Company. Yeah, I know. I'm very juvenile. Just ask my wife. It's funny when I told folks about my age, they thought it was funny. Most millennials and younger did not think it was quite as funny as I did. Uh, yeah, we just don't have the filter that the younger folks do. Anyways, the Muff Liquor Company. I'm starting with their vodka, and I turned it into a dirty martini. Product of Ireland, Irish vodka crafted with Irish potatoes. It is at 80 proof, recipe number 1. And I guess, let's see what else does this bottle say here. Inspired by our grandfather, his poitín was top stuff. I wish they had poitín, but anyways, our award-winning liquor hails from the village of Muff. See, that's why it's Muff Liquor Company. See, the village of Muff. You all had your minds in the gutter, didn't you? So try our Muff Liquor and see for yourself. The tradition of the potato needs a place on your shelf. So let me show you that bottle again. The Muff Liquor. Who doesn't like a little muff? Anyways, see, Tom, you're the one that went dirty there. I can't help it, man. Our story. I'm going to read just a tad bit of it. I won't read the whole thing, though. For one thing, we're the only ones called the Muff Liquor Company. We also have roots that began in 20th century Ireland. This is not an invented story. It is a true story of invention. And that's the problem with the whiskey in general, especially a lot of bourbon, a lot of American whiskeys. They invent this really nice story, slap a label on a bottle, and we find out later it's not true. Where our potatoes grow, the grass is really greener. It all began on lush, bountiful soil in the fields around, I'm going to pronounce this right, Inishowen. I don't know how to pronounce it right. Anyway, Donegal. Sorry about that. I apologize for muffing that. See what I did there? Philip McClenahan was a potato farmer with greater ambitions for his starchy vegetables. He had what his mother called a little bit of devilment. That was only further fueled by the legend of Irish rebel poitín makers. Inspired by these devil may care moonshiners, Philip began experimenting with his potatoes, inventing his own distillation process and incredible poitín recipes upon which our gin and vodka are based. As he worked to perfect his recipes, he doled it out to family and friends. All right, so I'm going to, right now, this is Meet Laura, the Muff Liquor Company may have humble beginnings, but continues to seduce more than just friends and family. Philip's granddaughter, Laura, keeps the legend from running dry with recipes inspired by his original creation. So there we go. And the vodka. Our vodka is inspired by our very own Grandpa McClenahan's generational family recipe, which uses only the finest Irish potatoes. Our 6-time distillation process leads to a creamy, crisp liquid with a subtle hint of vanilla. Decided to go martini with it. I probably just should have went with a chill, but I was kind of feeling martini. I went dirty martini with this one, using some just a touch of dirty. More Playboy dirty, not quite Hustler dirty. More Playboy than Penthouse, nowhere near Hustler, and We're not even going to talk about congressional record. That's more dirty. Anyways, I digress. Love the look there, don't you? Oh my God. Oh my God. Wow. That is a very clean vodka. If I would have read that description completely about the vanilla, I probably wouldn't have martinied it because you do feel that. So I'm going to have to try some a little bit later. Just chill. That is gorgeous, though. Wow, does make a nice martini. Would be it's a great first drink of the evening, right? I just got home from work a little bit ago. Oh my God, that's delicious. That really is, man. That's some good vodka. So I'm more of a whiskey guy. Anybody that knows me knows that. But like I said, they had the vodka, the gin, and the whiskey, and they had specials if you buy two bottles of each. I just decided to buy one of each because I want to try everything. If I like everything, I'll go back and buy two bottles as I need them. But I thought it was interesting. I figured out what the hell. It never hurts to try something new. And the price wasn't bad on these at all, in all honesty. It's a product of Ireland, imported by, doesn't tell me exactly. It says distilled from potatoes, product of Ireland. So it only runs about 38 a bottle, which isn't necessarily cheap, but it's not expensive either for good product. But if you buy more than two, they take $3 off per bottle. And then they also got free shipping on it. Which isn't a bad price. I think it was about 115-ish hair under for the three bottles to have it shipped to my door. Yeah, it's not bad. And I kind of wanted to try it. I know. I'm a sucker for a good story. Anyways, I digress. Oh. So I did make a martini out of the gin. I went with a traditional martini with some dry vermouth, but just a touch of dry vermouth. Because although I probably need to try them as is, right out of the bottle, I wanted to do. I'm going to make cocktails with these products, so I kind of wanted to see what I was working with. And I got to tell you, this vodka is extremely clean. It is only 80 proof, and I say only 80 proof because I'm used to drinking higher proof whiskeys. But I mean, there is absolutely no burn here whatsoever. And it is a nice proof for that very first very first cocktail of the day. So let me finish this up. I'll be right back. Wait right there. I'll be right back with cocktail number two. So for the gin, let me grab this gin here. Like I said, I chilled it very well, and I put just probably about a quarter ounce of dry vermouth in there. Then I also added some smoked olives. The Muff Liquor Company Irish Gin, crafted with Irish potatoes. This is at 80 proof as well. I wish they had the product at a little higher proof, but I also understand most like about 80 is pretty standard. I just personally like a higher proof. The exact same story on the back of the bottle, so I'm going to pick up my tablet again and read you a little bit about the gin. Oh gosh, that's wow. Yeah, that's really good. The gin, our multi-award-winning Irish potato gin, is distilled using 4 different types of potatoes. It has a low juniper profile, which is probably why I really like it, and is uniquely infused with mandarin, rosemary, lemon, and elderflower botanicals before being finished with champagne extract. Wow. Again, much like the vodka, it's very clean, and that first sip, yeah, that's what I noticed. Is you can taste the juniper, but it wasn't as overwhelming as many commercial products are. I like the mix. Oh gosh, you really do feel that mandarin note in there. Wow, holy Moses, that's nice. Rosemary, lemon, elderflower. Yeah, I like the mix of the herbs with the citrus. It really balances that juniper. And I get there are many traditionalists out there because they've gotten used to these high juniper gins. That's probably why I've never liked gin until I've started buying more small distillery craft gins, and I found many that I've liked. And again, this one is just wow. But again, it blends that juniper. It's not overwhelming. You've got those nice citrus notes. You get that hint of sweetness, and then those nice herbal notes as well. This is gorgeous, man. Notice I've started getting stuffy since I've been home. Oh, I forgot to turn the fan on. I think that's part of the problem. Let me jump up and turn that fan on real quick. I'll be right back. This neat little martini glass or coupe. I guess it's a coupe, but it's. I love this glass for martinis. I don't like a martini all of the time, but every once in a while I really get in the mood for them, especially when it's warm. But I also like it to be my first cocktail of the day, my first drink of the day. When you just finished work or you're meeting some friends for drinks at the bar, the martini is a perfect cocktail to start your evening out with. Because again, it's you want a very chilled. If you're using a good product, you've got a very clean cocktail. Known as an aperitif or before dinner cocktail because it doesn't affect your palate like, say, bourbon will, a Manhattan, an old fashioned. You want that cocktail after dinner because that's your perfect digestive. But that's why a martini, either vodka or gin, is the perfect first cocktail because it stimulates the appetite without clouding the taste buds. Oh gosh, that is good, man. I do like me some muff. Oh, I can't help it. I can't turn it off. I am I am rather juvenile. It's my wife. Some of us never get past adolescence as far as humor. Some things are just always funny. The muff liquor, I get it. But I noticed when I've showed that to older folks about my age or older, they thought it was funny. Those younger thought it was rather tasteless. In all honesty, I think both are correct, but I think it is a good story. But I needed to find out if it was more than a story, right? There's a lot of great stories out there, and a lot of them are just labels. Of course, I remember way back when, many years ago, I had the fucking whiskey. That was more of a novelty, in all honesty, but some of those products weren't terrible. Oh, but this is a very nice gin. Again, very clean. You're only tasting what you're supposed to, right? So you're not getting any burn. You're not feeling any overtly alcohol notes. What you are tasting again is that juniper, but that is balanced with those citrus and herbal notes. The mandarin, lemon, rosemary, elderflower. Wow, that is nice. And rosemary can be overwhelming too, but with that, again, with that juniper, I feel like they kind of balance each other out again with that elderflower and those citrus notes. Man, this stuff is gorgeous. Now I have had some small batch craft distillery gins that balance with a little spice notes. This one doesn't. It's more I don't want to say sweet, but yeah, those citrus notes are really gorgeous. Makes it perfect for an application like this. It also makes it perfect for me to just drink it as is, right? I would like to drink this, have a martini per se, but with nothing else, right? Just this gin chilled in a nice glass would be the perfect way to drink it from here on out because it just doesn't need anything else. Wow, that is really nice. So I've got one more product here, but I have to have it two ways, so I have it twice. But I will be right back with that product here in just a minute. And we're gonna run this one late, but I'll be right back. So I usually drink when I do this. When I have meat and rocks, I usually do them one at a time. But here we're gonna go simultaneously. Here's my rocks. I got a big old rock in my pheasant glass here. I'm gonna set that off to the side just for a second though, and show you this whiskey neat. Let's see. There's peat smoke triple distilled at 86 proof. Does the bottle give me any more than that? Muff whiskey, inspired by the past, this well balanced Irish whiskey with its peated characteristics. Oh, excuse me, and depth of flavors lends itself to a quality tasting experience. Sláinte. Love the color. So the story here, our blended Irish whiskey expression, let's add a single malt, but nevertheless, our blended Irish whiskey expression is the result of five unique Irish malt and grain whiskeys. This irresistible blend is achieved by featuring virgin oak matured grain whiskey, bourbon cask matured grain whiskey, sherry cask matured malt whiskey, and double distilled malt whiskey, and triple distilled peated malt whiskey. So there's a lot going on here. And that's really what intrigued me. Again, I am more of a whiskey guy, but in this case, I was really interested in the potato vodka gin. But I really thought this would be an interesting blend. It is an 86 proof. Oh wow! Now again, I'm more of an Irish whiskey guy than a Scotch person, mostly because I'm not crazy about the peat, right? Irish whiskey is much cleaner, sometimes referred to as a smooth, sweeter one. But you can have a peated Irish whiskey. I do like the smoke on the nose, though. I do like that little bit of peat. Doesn't feel as heavy as, well, the others. Oh my God. Wow. Wow, that is delicious. Oh my gosh. That is nice. This is probably how I'm going to drink it going forward, but I needed to try this on the rocks. So I'm going to take one more sip neat. I'm going to go for my rocks. I don't want too much water to get in there. Oh gosh, that's gorgeous. So, you're going to definitely pick up some the peat there, obviously, but honey, heather, a lot of honey, though, a lot of honey sweetness, a lot of vanilla going on. You will feel a lot of that barrel. Well, that barrel, man, right at the end though, where you get these nice light spice notes that kind of balance everything out. And I'll get more into that later, but I want to pick this up before too much water gets in here. Oh, that's nice. Wow. So, yeah, a lot of folks will discourage you from adding ice to whiskey. Although a lot of folks like to add ice to scotch. Gosh, that's nice. But you get that right amount of cold, that right amount of melt off. You get to what I like to call the sweet spot that brings all of those sugars right to the surface. And this is where I'm at right at this very moment in time. So I know I need to really get to drinking. So the cold does mellow out. It does mellow out those peat notes. Again, brings those sweet notes right to the surface. So again, a lot of big honey. You're gonna feel the honey, the heather, but you might even pick up some other things. Bourbon will tend to give you a lot of brown sugar in most cases, sometimes big molasses notes, sometimes even maple. But this is the sweetness here is a little more subtle. Again, I mentioned honey earlier, but I'm also going to say raw sugar. Again, that cold mellows out those barrel notes too, but it does make it a nice, clean, refreshing whiskey, if you will. Oh my gosh, that is just wow, delicious. Ah. So one bottle of Irish whiskey or all the products are 37.99. But if you're going to get two, they're 69.98. I will likely go through the whiskey a little quicker. So if I reorder, I'll probably get the two bottle and have that, and then eventually get the other stuff. But I will tell you, my initial my initial reaction is all these products are really good, despite the name. The name may offend some. Some of you just need to lighten up and not get offended so easily and understand a joke. Gosh, that is delicious. That is really good. That is surprisingly good for that $38 price tag. That is really good for an under $40 whiskey. That is rather amazing. I wish I did a single malt. Ain't gonna lie, because I am all about the single malt. But this is really good. Or give me this at cask. I'm good on. Can I get a cask of this? Anyway, if I ever visit Ireland, and quite frankly, at this point in my life, since I'm 60 now, it's not looking like that's ever going to happen. But I would like to visit them. This is really nice. My wife and I are both of Irish ancestry. We named our kids as such, but we lost our son Seamus to cancer. We were looking at going to Ireland at some point there, and I don't know that either my wife and I could face it, right? could go there without him, and that's kind of, I think that's the decision we've made. But I guess you never know. Yeah, that is just crazy good. It really is. Wow, that's insane. Yeah, again, the sweetness is very subtle, right? Bourbon, for instance, tends to be a little more bold. I mentioned brown sugar, um, molasses. Sometimes you'll find maple, caramel, toffee. But here, the sweetness is lighter, much more subtle. Again, I mentioned honey, but here I'm also having it on the rocks. Here, I'm also feeling more of a raw sugar note as well. It has muted those barrel notes. The oak is light, but you get just a hint of subtle spice right at the end there. So, anyways, let me finish this up so I can finish my neat glass and really get into those notes. So, anyway, Sláinte. Love that color. I really do. That's a perfect color for an Irish. This is a blend of five different whiskeys, as they mentioned. Muff Irish whiskey. And who doesn't like a little muff? You know, I wasn't going to let that joke go, right? No, we knew you wouldn't. We were hoping so. We were hoping you'd take the high ground, but we knew you wouldn't. Anybody that knows me now, and quite frankly, we're kind of surprised you haven't made more jokes. Anyways, I digress. But I digress, man. Late night Friday with some muff. Anyway, I don't usually get muff on Fridays, but what I do. 86 proof. Wow. It is incredibly easy to drink, as you can see. There is absolutely no burn whatsoever. It is one of the best blended Irishes I've ever had. It certainly beats all of the names that you know. Peated, does the peated bother me? Well, I stated earlier that I'm not crazy about a heavy peat smoke. Um, Here it's there, right? You feel that nice smoke, but it doesn't overwhelm. And I think that's what I don't like when I feel like it takes over the whiskey. But here, with everything else going, those other things going on, that peat is very well blended in. So I'm also feeling those other notions that they mention here, like those sherry notes. You just get a hint of that sherry. Uh, the malt whiskey, and then the triple distilled malt whiskey. So that malt whiskey really provides some body. And I'm glad they bottled this at 86 and not 80 because I feel like it might be too thin at 80, but at 86, oh, it's nice. I would like to have it at cask. I already said that. But then again, I like to have everything at cask. I kind of like the cask, man. But anyways, I digress. 86 proof. The Muff Liquor Company. I got to tell you, I mean, I know it seems like a gimmick, and it very well may be, but the products are good. The vodka, the gin, and even this blended Irish, I would hold it up to any other products, any other vodka, gin, or blended Irish at that same price point. It's as good as any, and this blended Irish is certainly better than all of those names that you know. So there you go. I am Tom the Whiskey Whisperer, Whiskey Evangelist, prolific whiskey drinker, purveyor, wisdom man. Oh, good guy, Slancha.